Good afternoon, class. I am in the lab, and I'm planning to go over the study questions, the urinary study questions. I've posted those to Blackboard, and I will try to post this. I'm still learning, as you can definitely tell. I plan to do a Zoom with you, maybe one day next week, maybe 2 days next week. And so if you have questions and if you have facilities, I believe we can store Zoom or tape it, record it, so that you can see it another time if you don't have the facilities. Okay, the urinary study questions, the first one says, name the parts of a coronal section of the kidney, and the coronal section would be like this little model right here, if I can get to it. Right here, this would be the coronal section. It's a coronal cut. So you have the cortex, the medulla, and then the calyces with the pelvis. All right, the functional unit of the kidney is the nephron, and I think I can show you the nephron. I have a video I made of the nephron. The nephron, okay, the nephron is, you have over 1 million nephrons per kidney. Okay, the pyramids in the kidney are in the medulla. The cortex is going to have the glomeruli and a lot of the tubules, and the collecting tubules with the papilla would be in the medulla. Okay, the renal columns are the space between the pyramids. The urinary system lies behind the peritoneum, and we use the term retroperitoneal because it's back of that. The juxtaglomerular apparatus is, is a structure right here. Let's see if I can show you right here, where the distal convoluted tubule comes up, and it's next to the afferent arteriole, and the combination between. You have a good picture in your textbook on that too. Okay, that is going to respond to changes in concentration of electrolytes in the tubule and changes in blood pressure in the afferent arteriole. And so, depending on the needs of the body, if the blood pressure is too low or the concentration of electrolytes is too great, then the juxtaglomerular apparatus is going to release the enzyme renin, which is going to lead to an increased blood pressure, increased urine formation, etc. Okay, and you only have about 15% nephrons or juxtaglomerular nephrons. And of course, that's located in the cortex. The function is to release the renin and to raise blood pressure to allow the filtration. The nephrons are located in the cortex, and they're often lower at the lower part of the cortex before it goes into the medulla. The vasa recta, it has to do with the blood vessels here for the blood flow, and I'm going to show you right here. Okay, so here's the loop of Henle, and these are the peritubular capillaries, and this part around the loop of Henle is called the vasa recta. The blood flow is much slower, and that allows for the multiplier effect that occurs. It's also the counter-current mechanism. Materials go down one way and back up the other way. The rugae of the bladder, inside the bladder would be the folds of the mucosa, and those folds, and let's see if I can, there we go, oops, wrong side. The folds inside the mucous membrane, the folds of the mucous membrane are called the rugae. They're sort of rough folds. And then the trigone is the smooth area between the two openings of the two ureters and the opening to the urethra, and it doesn't have the folds. The detrusor muscle would be the smooth muscle that makes up the bladder, and it is, here's the smooth muscle. You can see the trigone there, the white area is the trigone. And then this is the back side. Let me hold it right here. Okay, the little part with the red dots, okay, that's just representing the folds, the rugae, and the white represents the trigone, and then the pink tube-like structure represents the urethra, and this is going through the prostate. This is from a male. Okay, the detrusor muscle itself, though, is the walls of the bladder, and it's smooth muscle. There are 3 different walls, layers, and they go in opposite directions. The 3 processes of urine formation are filtration, reabsorption, and secretion. Filtration occurs from the glomerulus into Bowman's capsule. Reabsorption is in the collecting proximal convoluted tubule, descending limb, ascending limb, distal tubule, and collecting tubules. Secretion occurs in the distal convoluted tubule and the collecting tubule. The hormones that we need to know about, aldosterone and ADH. Aldosterone is going to work on the proximal convoluted tubule to reabsorb sodium. Chloride follows it. Water would follow that in obligatory osmosis. And then in the distal tubule, aldosterone pulls in sodium, and chloride may try to follow it, but usually it's involved in exchange with hydrogen. And the interesting thing is in the distal tubule, water cannot follow the change in osmotic pressure there. Water can't follow it unless the hormone ADH is present. So that's anti-diuretic hormone produced by the posterior pituitary. Okay, so aldosterone and ADH are the two hormones you need to know about. Let's see. Structural variations in the Malpighian corpuscle. That's going to be something that would be microscopic. Okay, the Malpighian corpuscle is the same as the renal corpuscle, and it's made of the, and I'll put it right here, that is the glomerulus and Bowman's capsule. And so in the glomerulus, you have a lot of fenestrations, little openings between the cells, and then the Bowman's capsule part has it's made up of structures of cells called podocytes, and then like an octopus, it's got the main part and it's got the little tentacles going out, and then it has filtration slits between that. But it all enhances the filtration process. So you have a lot of fluid being filtered, like 125 milliliters per minute, but you can't lose that much, and so a lot of that is reabsorbed. So otherwise you'd be dehydrated in a few minutes. Let's see. Renin is the enzyme that is released by the juxtaglomerular apparatus whenever the blood pressure is too low or the concentration of electrolytes is too high in the tubules. And it's going to cause a whole cascade of events leading to the release of more aldosterone, which reabsorbs more sodium, which causes more water to be reabsorbed, and so you don't lose as much fluid in the urine, and it raises the blood pressure. Remember, your blood pressure is directly related to the blood volume. You drop the blood volume, you drop the blood pressure. Raise the blood volume, you raise the blood pressure. And that's a cascade of events. And so that takes us through question number 20. Bye-bye. If you have questions, let me know. I'm going to try to post this. So we all have to have lots of patience with this technology. And I will stop.